you make this?
Oh, hey. This has got a little morbid.
That's good stuff right there.
Oh, they totally just killed the thesis statement. I get it.
Okay, whatever.
Don't kill the thesis.
Yes. Jeffrey would be so proud of that work. Yes. Jeffrey. Okay. Whenever you write a paper analyzing, discussing, comparing, identifying causes or effects, or arguing position, don't say that your essay was outside of any of those, because it was not. You should be able to write a thesis. You can refine and go along, but try to begin with a one-sentence statement. How many of you changed your thesis by the time you got to the end of your essay?
I don't know.
We should.
I wrote my Keisha whimpers. That is okay. I have done that many times myself, where I write a thesis, I think I have a very clear and tight understanding where my essay is going to go, and it adjusts a little bit, and I adjust my thesis a little bit at the end. Here's what should not happen, okay? You should not write a thesis, forget about it, and then all of a sudden your essay ends up in an entirely different spot. Like you wrote a thesis about going to Calgary and you ended up in Regina, okay? That does not happen. You guys, that was a clever metaphor. Okay. So your thesis is your map for what is happening. A thesis statement can help you steer, we're continuing with my driving motif, a straight course, avoiding the danger of loose writing, okay? How many of you feel like, and let's be honest, how many of you feel like you planned your essay well before you started?
There's like a point. I planned it, but it didn't turn out.
Okay. Planning. When you write your diploma and when you write any essay until the end of time, your planning is going to be intensive because you're going to hear my voice in your head. It says if you don't plan, you will write a crappy essay and you will fail. Okay? Whether or not that's true, that's what I want you to hear. Yes, Eric, did you have a comment? Okay. You were just going to confess that you didn't plan and you're going to, is that what you were going to do? No,
But I don't want you to think mine.
you have to plan or else you'll fail. How about that? Is that in your head?
Did you fail?
I don't know.
Okay. Make your thesis say something. Okay, we're going to continue on what that means. Don't be satisfied with weak generalities that fail to zero in on your main point. The following are examples of vague thesis statements. So, your thesis should not say something like this. Jamaica Kincaid, in her essay A Small Place, says many different things about tourists. Okay, here, examples of what I don't want you to do. Poet X and Y make important points about animals in their poem, To a Wolf and the Happy Meerkat. Here is your little key that tells me, warning light, my thesis might not be that awesome. Make important points. If you don't tell me what those important points are, if you're just like, if I say important, then I can say whatever I want and it will fit there. No, I want to know what those points are, okay? Of course she makes important points or else you wouldn't be reading her text. Another example. People hold different opinions as to whether it's wise to impose sanctions on China because of their human rights violations. Where's my blinking keyword warning word here?
What are we
China.
Exactly. Different. They hold different opinions. I want to know the contrast here, okay? You need specifics to have a strong thesis. Shakespeare uses quite a bit of clothing imagery in King Lear. No, I don't care how much anyone uses anything, okay? So, the way to make this more clear, can anyone tell me how you can make that more clear? I know you don't know anything about King Lear, so just make it up. How would you make this stronger? What do you need to change?
Is that even a conclusion?
There's a lot of clothing.
Yeah. Shakespeare uses clothing imagery. And
Yeah,
King
represent whatever. Could be representing one thing, it could be representing three things, but I don't care about the amount, I care about the effect. None of these statements provides a clear direction for an essay because the assertions they make are so vague. So your thesis should not be vague. Vague is danger. I want specific. They are useless. A better thesis statement for the third example might be, okay, clothing images in King Lear reflect the development of Lear from a man blinded by appearances to a man able to face the naked truth. So, do you see how vastly different those two are? That here I have specifics. You were telling me what the clothing images actually do, to what effect they're used in the play. So, if you were talking about a small place in Jamaica Kincaid, you were saying, in her essay, Jamaica Kincaid uses the image of the library for many different ways. Good or not? No. That didn't even make sense, but you get what I mean. So, instead, you were saying, in her essay, A Small Place, Jamaica Kincaid uses the image of the library to demonstrate, to reflect the crumbling of Antigua's education, whatever. Okay? Remember that the creation of a thesis statement is important to the way you approach your topic, helping you direct your thinking as well as your writing. Okay? So it's not just so that I can find your thesis statement and check it off. Like, oh, that was nice. But now the rest of their essay has nothing to do with it. No. It also directs your thinking. Keeps you on your way to Calgary, not Regina. Okay, avoiding fallacies. Who knows what fallacy is?
I do. I was just going to ask you who.
Ashley, what is it?
Like not doing on prey to something that is wrong.
Like a
And
fallacy.
not realizing it.
You
Being
also,
ignorant of something.
okay, if I say everyone from Cardston is rude and ignorant, there might be a teeny bit of truth to it, but my generalization makes it a fallacy. And I don't mean that yeah.
How does that fit in with the literary device pathetic fallacy, which is just the setting corresponding to the mood?
Well, because a pathetic fallacy also means like attributing emotions to like the weather and stuff like that, which is wrong, right? The wind doesn't have an emotion. I don't.
So in writing, you don't want to work that.
Pathetic fallacies are a literary device. It's a completely different thing than having fallacies in your thesis. So this is just saying avoid things that are wrong, okay? And it's showing you how you can write things that are wrong because of their generalization or something like that. As you write, be careful to avoid logic fallacies and ideological reasoning, okay? Explaining. Logical fallacies are problems in thinking or connecting ideas. Common fallacies include ad hominem, also called name calling. So if you want to talk about name calling in Latin, there you go. This fallacy is an attack either directly or indirectly on a person, okay? Here's an example. Bob can't be right because he's an idiot. Jamaica Kincaid's essay sucks because she is dumb. You can't write that. It don't, okay?
What does that picture of?
Moving a cat without George Bush and some monkeys, okay?
Oh.
You can circle the internet for a while, don't worry about it. It's completely photoshopped. Okay? But you can't say, that Jamaica Kincaid's, you can't even say Jamaica Kincaid's essay is correct because she's brilliant. Like, your judgment on people's character has no place in your essay or your thesis.
So like saying she's not right because she's an Antiguan and she doesn't understand British.
bandwagon or celebrity appeal. This is a fallacy that implies that the reader should agree with the premise because a majority or a particularly significant person agrees with the premise. Example, as everyone knows, this bill will help our children. So we can say, as the whole rest of the world understands, or as Channing Tatum demonstrates, like, I don't think that anyone would do this. You guys have, these last two, you have much more sophisticated understanding of what you're doing. Just letting you know. Either or reasoning, assuming that there can be only one cause or one solution in an issue. Example, the only way to keep our children safe is to ban video games. What's wrong with that?
Everything.
Dane has very strong opinions about this. What's wrong with it? And it's making this.
Proof? They don't have proof.
Well, and it's making, even if they're gonna, we're assuming that they're gonna back this up somehow with evidence, but they're making way too broad of a generalization. The only way to keep our children safe is to ban video games.
What about all the drugs?
That's too much. You might say something like, how could you change that? How could you change that to make it work? If your position in your paper is that video games should be controlled or something like that.
You can help keep children safe by banning video games, and I am a liar.
Because you don't believe that at all. But what was the important change there that Eric made? That made his thesis okay?
He's not a liar.
His opinion on his fact? What else?
It isn't a
It's not an absolute, right?
Absolute, that's
Yes.
what it is.
Said can help keep, right? That change is important. Another one of your essays that you're going to be writing is a position paper. So sorry. So that's important when you are writing a position paper, especially. Okay. Slippery slope. Assuming that because one minor fact is true, then a larger premise must be too, despite any further proof. Example: Congressman Smith voted against tax increases last week. Therefore, Congressman Smith will always be against tax increases. Right? You know that. So just because it happened once doesn't mean that it's a generalization for all time. So you can't say something like, because Jamaica Kincaid isn't Antiguan, she hates everyone and everything from Great Britain. And all Antiguans hate everything from Great Britain.
Didn't she kind of use a lot of generalization?
Yeah.
She did say this thing that she really disliked the British though.
Yes?
And that all the damage they did, like, how did you put that? All the, whatever, that the British did, her country can never be the same again, and she says that's unforgivable.
Yes. So she does arguably kind of hate everything British. The point that I kind of got distracted from that I was making was that just because she does, we can't say that every Antiguan does. Okay? So I said that sentence first, but really I was meant to go somewhere else.
Was it wrong to write an essay on that? Like, if you did think, like, this is the only solution, because you're writing an essay on why that's the only solution?
Maybe. But the part that's problematic here is saying because Jamaica Kincaid hate the British, all Antiguans hate the British.
I put
Right?
that in my
That's too.
This is so wrong.
Hey. This is why you have time to revise things. Ad populum, arguing based upon emotional appeals rather than facts. All Americans want to ban this book. Not true. Circular reasoning presents as reasons a restatement of the problem. There are not enough parking spaces because there are too many cars.
Well,
See that circular reasoning?
That all the time.
There's not enough parking spaces because they run.
Or there's too many cars because there's not enough parking spaces.